Hello my Sculpt and Pound art friends. How are we today? I hope you guys are doing well, you and your families, staying clean, staying safe, staying healthy. I hope you guys are staying busy, staying active, whether it's inside or outside, making crafts, reading books, playing music, maybe watching TV, but also enjoying some fresh air, getting outside, maybe doing some chalk drawings or playing some sports outside. But still continuing to stay safe and social distancing. But I hope you guys are continuing to have a positive attitude. Also doing your schoolwork, maybe calling some friends and family, but still having that still optimistic attitude, but still keeping active and occupied during this time. So I hope you guys like this video today. It's a little simpler than what we had last week. I hope you did have a great weekend with Easter. I hope you did like my Easter projects if you were able to see those. The sock bunnies. I hope you enjoyed that project. I thought they were really cute. But again, if you weren't able to make it due to lack of supplies, I apologize. I'm trying my best to think of certain supplies that you may have at home, or trying to simplify or give you some other ideas of what you could use. So, like I said, I'm sorry if I don't always have the supplies that you have at home, but I am trying to give you some alternatives. So today I thought we would do a simple little project, so it is somewhat 2D, but it's sculpture because we took a 2D form and we made it 3D. So it's more of a sculpture project now. So I thought we would do this today because you could also kind of get a little creative with it, and we're just going to be creating a room so far. So I'm going to show you how to make it, and you're probably like, how in the world did she do this? And I'm going to show you. So no fear, we're going to do this together. So I'm going to scoot you guys over here. There we go. And point you down. Boop. Okay. There we go. So, for this project, you're probably going to need a ruler, pencil, a Sharpie, maybe markers or colored pencils, whatever you prefer. I suggest maybe either markers or colored pencils. Maybe not crayon, because we are doing some detailed stuff here and there. See, I got like a couch, a door, a light fixture, some tile on the floor. So we might be doing some intricate detailing here and there. So maybe not crayons, but at least whether it's like thicker markers. I prefer maybe thinner markers for this project. But if you don't have the thin markers, just use whatever you have. So ruler, pencil, Sharpie, markers. I recommend using a thicker piece of paper. So this piece of paper comes from the sketchbook, which is a mixed media. I suggest buying something like this if you are continuing on with some art projects, because this paper is a lot thicker and you get a whole bunch of it. It may be a little bit more on the pricey side than just regular computer paper, but like I said, use what you have. My example is just regular computer paper. I'm just gonna work with this one just because it's a little sturdier. I want to show you guys like the difference between the two. And what else? Oh, I suggest either tape or glue, but if you don't have one or the other, I do suggest tape more. It's a lot less messy. Glue is messier, and if you are using glue, preferably maybe a glue stick. But if you don't have glue stick, then use just regular tape. But if you don't have tape, then go with the glue and just add a small amount, just a little bit. So let's start off with how we're gonna draw this thing. So since I just taped it, I'm gonna actually take it apart and show you the original piece of it. So, and you're probably like, well, that looks like just a big square. And it is a big square. That's how I started this project. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a big square. And then I'm gonna show you how to get all these different angles and then eventually get to the part where we're gonna fold it together. So I'm gonna go back and forth. So I'm gonna lay this flat so that way you guys can see what I'm trying to explain here. And I'm gonna go back and forth between my example and what we're gonna be doing. So when we are working on this project, I do want you guys to lay like a piece of paper down because we will be coloring in some things, whether it's colored pencil or marker. If you are using marker, I don't want you to get it on any surfaces that you have at home because I don't want your parents being mad at you. So just put a paper down so that way you don't get anything messy. And then get your piece of paper, whichever you are using. If you want to make this bigger and you have a bigger piece of paper, go for it. I have no problem with that. You can either make this project bigger or smaller, whichever you choose. But this is just a regular size piece of paper. Maybe just a little bit, no, it's the same size as a printer paper. So I'm gonna lay it horizontally. So this is horizontally, this is vertically. So vertically, horizontally. So if you're looking at a picture and it's got a landscape in it, it's most likely gonna be horizontal. But that's just me, but a lot of them are vertical as well. So now what we're gonna do, I am gonna give you some measurements and then I'll probably write them down too so that way you can also see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna start at the very edge of my paper, maybe just a little further in, like the teeniest bit. So that way you're not totally off the paper. But you could also use the edge of the paper, but I'm gonna go as close as I can to the edge. And I'm gonna measure 8 inches. Oh, you can't see. Okay, sorry, scoot a little bit up. Okay, so I'm gonna measure 8 inches. And I'm gonna zoom in for you guys, sorry. I hope you guys can see that. So this is my 8 mark. I know if you guys can't see it, I apologize. So I'm gonna just want to make sure you are able to see the whole thing. So there's so this is 8. We're gonna make a square. So square meaning all the sides are gonna be the same. So this side's gonna be 8, this side's gonna be 8, the top's gonna be 8 because it has to match our bottom. So I'm gonna keep the ruler edge in line with the edge of the paper. Oop, make sure nothing's in your way. There we go. All right, line the edge of the ruler up with the edge of the paper. So that way your ruler is nice and straight. And then go ahead, go all the way up to the 8 mark and stop. There we go. Now if you want to go to the other end, go for it. Remember, line your paper up. You guys can see it. Okay, there we go. So I'm over here and I'm lining my ruler up with the edge of the paper. Making sure that my ruler is nice and straight. Maybe move it a little bit over so that way the tip of my marker is meeting that end point. Then I'm gonna go all the way up to my 8. Oop, and then stop. And then all you're gonna do is connect the dots. Here, if you wanna work, I prefer working on the inside of my ruler. Just helps see things a little bit better. Oop, there we go. Alrighty. So I hope you guys are able to see that. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. So I have my square right now. And the next part is going to be adding our edges, kind of edge lines, I should say. Now you could do this in pencil or a marker, just depending on if you want people to see it or not. I think you guys should do it in pencil, so I'm gonna switch to a pencil. Or if you want to keep going with marker, that's fine. I like to do marker so that way you guys can see it. Pencil is kind of hard to see with this lighting and using the camera, but it's up to you. So actually I'm gonna do marker because I'm gonna show you where to fold, and that's very important for this project. So I'm gonna do markers, and if you want to do marker, that's fine too, so that way you know where to fold as well. But if you want to do pencil, so that way you don't see the marker, that's fine too. All right, and we're gonna be doing a diagonal. So the way that I had my paper before was, this is the ground, these are the two sides, and then this paper doesn't matter because that one is gonna be eliminated. I kept it on here so that way I could show you. All right, so next we're gonna do the diagonals. So this line right here and that line right here, and that's creating this bottom floor / triangle looking shape. So that way when we fold, it looks like the floor. And I hope this isn't too challenging for you guys, but I feel like, you know what, it's good to challenge yourself, just, you know, here and there. I feel like last week's project may have been a little bit easy, or on the easier side if you were able to do it, but, you know, sometimes people think things are easy and then they try it and then it's not so easy, or they find it a little bit more difficult, and that's perfectly fine. Like for me, sports are very difficult, or learning to play a piano. I can't play, I mean, things are going to be challenging, but I know if I did start the piano and I kept practicing every day, then I would eventually learn. But I'm challenging myself every day to learn something new, to learn a new note, learn a new scale. Alrighty. So, here is our different rooms. Now, if you want to label them, here, I'm actually going to label for you. So this is 8 inches. 8 inches. And then these are just diagonal lines. So I'm just matching up the points. All right. So now I'm going to show you an option that you could do. You don't have to. It's up to you. So do you see this little bump right here in this other triangle on this upper part? That is called a tab. I added a tab just so if you are using glue, you're not trying to glue the two edges together, which would be really tricky. Now the reason, I don't know if you have done in the past some foldable art projects that you found on the computer, or have ever done like a foldable art project, like making a box from paper, but some printables that you find on the internet have these little tab thingies. Now those you are not supposed to cut. Those are, excuse me, those you are not supposed to cut. You're supposed to add glue or tape onto those, or fold them in some way, shape, or form, and then it's supposed to be tucked away so that way you don't see it. So that's, I'm gonna label that tab. There we go. So that is my tab. So all I did, and yours could be any shape you want. We're gonna actually, if you don't necessarily need this if you are using tape, but for the sake that you may not want to use your tape at home and you do have glue, go for it. I think I might show you guys with glue instead of tape. I use tape because I wanted to show you how to do it properly. So that's what I did. I added tape. Now say you didn't have this tab thingy. Say it's gone. Say I didn't have a tab in the first place. I would have to line these up perfectly sorry, not these. So when I folded it upward, I would have to match up the lines perfectly and then add the tape to my seam perfectly. So I would have to line things up and then connect them so that way they came to like a perfect match, or lined up perfectly so that way I could attach them. But with the tab, you can kind of like connect them from the back and not have to worry about lining things up perfectly. You can kind of like eyeball it and then just put some glue on the tab and then stick it to the back. That's it. So, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Whew. Just needed a drink of water. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so if you wanted to add a tab, you can. If you want to do this with pencil first, go for it. All I did was kind of make like a little extension, I kind of made like a line using the line I already had, and then making another line parallel or right next to this line, this dark line, and then making like a little kind of like line down as an angle. And there you go, you have like your little tabby part. So if you want to label it tab, go for it. Just make sure if you are using printer paper, you will see it on the back. But if it's all colored, then you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you want to do that in black, that's fine too. Now, you're not gonna need the rest of this part. So you could cross that out, shade it in, whatever. You could cut it out when we do the whole thing. That's fine. Like I said, you will not need this part on the inside. Now the next thing you will need is some scissors because we are going to cut this out. If you want to color and then cut, or like draw then cut, you could do that, but I feel like when I was doing my example, I found it better to kind of focus on turning it and focusing on the parts that I did need. But also keeping in mind how things are going to look when they're turned upright. So I'm going to cut this out. There we go. That gone. And if you want to cut the black lines off, you can. I kind of like them, but it's up to you. Okay, there we go. So there's my square. Now if you want to like label these, you can, for like F for floor, or you can write the word floor down here, because this is going to be your floor. And then this part may be like where the door is. You could put door, or entryway, or kitchen. It could be any room in your house if you want. If you want it to be the bathroom, go for it. That's fine. It could be the kitchen. It could be your room. You could draw a bed there. That's actually a good idea. I might put bedroom. Right? You could put your closet over here if you want. This is the floor. Maybe the door going out of your bedroom could be over here. Actually, I might switch it up so that way it's more in tune with my example. So here's going to be the inside of the bedroom. So I'm labeling that on this side. And then here's going to be the entry or the door part of my bedroom, entry door of bedroom. And here's the floor, or whatever you want to do. I like the checkered pattern. If you if you don't like that in your bedroom, that's more for like the kitchen or something, or the hallway going into your house. That could be something. It's just like doing an interior space right now, so it could be whatever you want. I think I'm gonna do a checkered pattern, or maybe I should just do my example. I don't know. But you should definitely label where things, so that's gonna be my entry door, or this could be my living room. I think I'm gonna follow my example just so you guys have an idea, but I do want you guys to challenge yourself. So I thought of a bedroom. You could do your bedroom. That is totally fine. I just am doing this in case you want to try this out and not be so confused of what to do. So I'm just gonna go with my example, but I did share some ideas that I had just to keep you guys thinking creatively, thinking actively throughout this project. So next, I want you to cut out this part. So this part that I like cut out, if you want to put a red X over it, that's fine. Go ahead and cut that part out. We're not gonna need it. There we go. Now I'm not cutting out my tab. Keep those words with this, because it's gonna be really tricky if you cut that tab off to attach some things. Like I said, if you do cut that tab part off or don't choose to put it on your artwork, then please use some tape. It will save you a lot of hassle. Alrighty. Now I'm just gonna fold my tab to the back already, so that way it's not, you know, in my line of view and I don't have to worry about it until later, but it will keep my paper flat if I keep it like this. If you want to keep it like that, that's fine. I just want to show you how this thing is gonna go. So I think I'm gonna show you how to fold first. So for your tab, go ahead and fold on that line, on that black line. Go ahead and fold till you don't see that tab. See, it's, but did I cut it off? No, I just folded it behind this sheet of paper. So there we go. If you want to fold it forwards too, you can. There we go. Because eventually we're going to want to tuck it behind this piece of paper to make that triangle. So if you want to fold this back to get on that nice line that we drew, go ahead and fold on that line. Same thing on the other side. Folding on this line. Now try your best. Maybe a little tricky. And then I want you to fold it forward, just so you get kind of like a good fold. Nicely folded. Because if it's folded backwards like this, it's going to want to fold backwards. We don't want that. Unless you like it like that. If you don't want to see those black lines, you could always go to the back. That's another way of doing it. But I want to keep the black lines here to show you where the separation of each different room is going to be. So by folding it upward, and if you were to glue it, I wouldn't glue it right now, so don't glue it right now. I'm just showing you that if you do, like, you know, pitch it up right now, this is how it's gonna look. You could put it in like some sort of corner in the bookshelf if you want. I feel like this is a good project, like if you have like a corner area that you want to decorate. Maybe in like an open space in the bookshelf, you can like put that in the corner, or like on, or like in the kitchen corner, like somewhere in a corner, you could put this and it'd be like a nice little surprise for someone who's walking by. So that's how it would look if it were standing up. It's kind of like a little room, like a little surprise room that someone could see walking past like the living room in your house if you had it in the corner of your living room. It's kind of like a fun thing. Or you could play a game with it. You could hide this around the house and see who finds it, and if they find it, they would move it, and then the next person would have to find it. It could be like a game. Just an idea. I think it would be really fun if you do that. That would be awesome. So sorry, I'm getting a little off track. So, but we want to keep this nice and flat so we can draw. So I'm gonna start with the door / entry space. So what I want you to do, I don't want you to draw like this. No. I don't want you to draw like that, like straight ahead, because then when we fold, your door is gonna be on an angle. So that's what happens if you draw just straight on this square. I know it's kind of the norm, but we're thinking kind of 3D, and you have to think a little bit differently when you're thinking in the 3D realm. So you gotta think how things are supposed to look, and it's kind of hard since we are drawing 2D and then making it 3D, so it's gonna be a little tricky. But like I said, I'm just trying to challenge you guys. So I'm gonna erase this. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So like I said, we are working on the entry part, and we're gonna work on the door. Oops, there goes my ruler. Sorry. Okay. If you want to use your ruler throughout this process, go for it. I have nothing against rulers. They are a great tool to have. And they teach you a few things like quarters and fourths and halves, millimeters, centimeters. Like, they're great tools, and you will have to learn them eventually. So we're gonna draw our door. So I want you, so see how our tab is up here? I want you to turn it so that way this looks like a diamond now. So turn it so that way it looks like a diamond or like a kite. And the tab is this way. It's kind of facing straight up and down. And then this line is horizontal now. This line is going left to right. Sorry, I'm saying that over and over again. I just want to make sure you are drawing the right way in the right area, and that way it's gonna form upright and it's not gonna confuse you in the future. Or your door's gonna be slanted, or your light fixture is gonna be doing like a weird loop-de-loop thing. I don't know. So, what I'm gonna have you do is start on this line, and we're gonna just draw a door. So go ahead, use a straight edge or your ruler. Draw 2 lines sticking up like that, and a line across. Go. Okay, so there's my door. If you want to add a door handle right away, go for it. If you want to get fancy, go ahead and draw a window. You could draw a window in the door, above the door. I know some doors have this like weird half circle thing that I really like. So I'm going to draw that. So I'm drawing like a half circle. So I just did a line and then kind of like a rainbow to make like a half circle. Kind of like a half of a pie. And then I'm just going to make like 2 diagonal lines to make like a window. A lot of houses have these where it's like a window above the door. I don't know why, but it's just something that they have. It's kind of like a decorative piece. Now if you want to, in this area, if you don't want to add a window, or if you want to add like a light fixture, go for it. I did so on this one. I might do it on this one. All I did was a triangle and then it's a little circle. That's your light fixture. There you go. But if you want to get fancy, you can make a chandelier. You can make, I don't know what else hangs down from the ceiling. I don't know. Usually it's a light fixture or a chandelier. I can't think of anything else. I don't know. Kind of got off track. But that's your door. Little window for the door. Now, think of what's next to your door. Is it a coat rack? Is it a shoe rack? Is it just like a carpet? for your shoes to go? Do you have a painting there? Go ahead and put a painting there. I'm gonna put like a little painting there. So I'm gonna make a line that's right next to my door. There we go. And I'm gonna make the frame. So I'm just doing kind of like a rectangle, but it's going off the paper. So here's my rectangle if I were to go off the paper, but it's not going to be shown on here. So you're going to have to go off the paper in order to complete that rectangle, or you can make it a square. Go for it. This is your project. If you want to do something different, go for it. If you want to do a table, if you have a table next to your door to hold like keys or mail, you could add that. Or if you have like a plant, I might draw a plant. Here we go. Just something different. Or this picture could be a mirror. I know some people have mirrors before their door. Think about how your house is, how the layout of your house is, what you have by the door. Count the number of things by the door. What is by your door? Is it a key hook? Is it a bunch of shoes? What do you think is there? So there you go. That is your front hallway, or your entryway, or your front room, whatever you want to call it. So there you go. Now we're gonna be going onto the floor. So this might be a little trickier part, might not be. So we're gonna be, so if you want to like pop this up while you're working on the floor, go for it. So what's gonna be by your door? Is there a rug? Is there something for your shoes? You may want to put a rug by your door for people to wipe their feet. So I'm gonna put a little rug. And I'm just doing like a nice little oval. And to like detail it up, you could put rings in that oval to kind of make it look more like a rug. Or like an oval rug. I don't know, some people have these. Some people have square rugs. If you want to do a square rug, go for it. It could be the same size as your door, it could be bigger than your door. Now, I want to at least show you the checkerboard pattern, but I don't know. I kind of want to do wood grain. So like hardwood floors. A lot of people have hardwood floors in their entryway. Some people have tile. It's just different. Every home is different. So I kind of want to... Now for hardwood floors, you could just do lines. So you could do line, 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 just a bunch of lines, and maybe a line through the middle just to cut it off. Show that there's some separation between the floorboards. Now if it is tile, that's a different story. So I think I'm just gonna do floorboards just to show you something different. So I'm gonna take my ruler, and I want you to change the direction again of your project. So now you were working, actually, how should we do this? Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna do the tile, because now that I'm thinking about it, it may be hard to show you how to do hardwood. So I'm just gonna do tile. Now, I want you, so we had it turn this way. I want you to keep it this way. I want the tab on this side going up and down like this. And I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, I'm sorry. So if you guys weren't able to see before, I apologize. I did a door, a window above the door, a light fixture, which is just basically a triangle, like a wide triangle, and a circle, and like a little line to show where it's hanging. I did like a mirror or a picture on the side that's kind of being cut off by this wall. And then I did a plant. So think about what's by your front door. Now, I am still on this side of the paper. So this point is facing this way. And we're gonna continue on with the floor. I'm gonna do tile. I thought about hardwood and I don't know how that would work. So, or you could just draw this one color. That's totally up to you. I'm gonna do tile just to give it a little funky look. So I'm gonna have my ruler. I'm gonna line it up with this line and I'm just gonna move it over just so you want a little bit thicker tiles. So go ahead and try to give yourself maybe about an inch, maybe a half inch. Here we go. So you want to flip it over. So that's the thickness I want for my tile. And I'm gonna start from my rug, not up here, because then we're gonna cut through our rug. So I'm gonna start at the bottom of my rug, and then I'm gonna take my line down all the way to the edge of the paper. Move over a little bit, do the same thing. Try to make it similar width. All right, we're gonna do line number 3, drawing straight down. Move it a little over. Line number 4, going off the paper. Line number 5, there we go. And it's gonna keep getting smaller and smaller. Your line is gonna be shorter and shorter as you keep going off to the right. So we're continuing to the right. And there we go. See? Now, to make it kind of like a tile, we're gonna just make it into squares first. So it's just gonna be squares stacked on top of each other. So start by the rug area. So cover that little rug that we drew with your ruler. And so we're gonna keep the thickness of our tiles about the same width of the rug that we drew. We're gonna bring the ruler down, kind of, if you wanna work this way, go for it. If you wanna turn the ruler and kind of work kind of over the ruler, you also can do that. It's whatever works for you. So I'll show you doing this way. Okay, see where the rug is? I'm gonna start on this side and go all the way to the edge, drawing left to right. And there you go. You have a row of squares now. And all we did was we made lines going vertically all the way from left to right. And now we're doing horizontal lines going left to right. But I'm bringing my ruler down instead of left to right. So see the difference? So right now we're working this way, whereas before we were working this way. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. So here's that first line that we drew for our horizontal line. Move it down a little bit to the width that you want for your tile. Try to match the same width that you had for the first couple tiles. There we go. And then draw your line. Keep going down, moving your ruler down. There you go. Trying to keep that width of our squares. There you go. And you go until you finish to the edge of the paper. Now when we color this in, you could do like a checkerboard pattern. They call it a checkerboard pattern. Some tiles are like this still, where it's like dark color, light color, dark color, light color, dark color, light color. It's kind of like a pattern. That's why they call it checkerboard pattern, because that's what the pattern is on a checkerboard. Checkerboard. I gotta enunciate. All right. So next we are going to be working on our living room. Now I may not have time to color this all for you, but I'm gonna try my best. I was gonna use colored pencil, but I might just use marker, use what I have. So we were working on this side. Now I want you to kind of almost do, almost like a 360, but not. I don't know what I'm saying. So we're gonna bring this corner, oops, I'm gonna zoom out for a second so that way you guys can see. All right, so this is how we've been drawing. So we started here, now we're here, we did our floor, and this part is still facing this way. Now, I want you to turn it so that this corner is over here. So I want this corner over here. So we're gonna, just like that. Because now we're gonna be working from the bottom, like on this bottom, because that's gonna be the floor, and then this is gonna be wherever our stuff is. So I'm gonna do kind of like an armchair. Gonna show you how to draw it. But let's start with maybe something more basic. Let's start with a window. So just go ahead, try your best to draw at least a square for your window. And then if you want to add some curtains on the side, go for it. Curtains are nice. There we go. Now if you want to do like a table or a chair, or maybe a table and a lamp, that's fine too. I'm going to do a table. I did a chair in my example. So this is where we were. This is my floor still, and then we're turning it to work on this side now. Right, so I'm going to do a table. So I'm just going to do two little lines like this, because we're just going to see the side of the table. We're not looking on top of the table, we're looking on the side, because that's all we're seeing right now. And then draw the legs, so two little rectangles or two lines down that are parallel next to each other at the edge of this line. So if you want to continue that line down, go for it. If you want to put something on top of that table, maybe like a little sleepy cat. I'm gonna do a sleepy cat. Little sleepy cat. There we go. If you have a cat that sleeps on the table, there you go. See? It's not a very good one, but there's a kitty cat on that table. Now, you could put something else over here. It could be like a chair or an ottoman. An ottoman is kind of like almost something that you could sit on, or it's another thing for storage. Some of you don't know what an ottoman is, and that's okay. Big words. I know. I tend to use big words sometimes. Okay. So what can we put here? Maybe a couch. So I'm gonna show you how to draw the edge of the couch. We're not gonna draw the full couch, but we're gonna draw at least the edge, and then it's gonna cut off the paper. So I'm just gonna draw a circle, and this might be tricky for you. So draw whatever you can. I don't want to like overwhelm you or make this project seem super hard. I'm just trying my best to give you some ideas, but some of you have a couch. So draw a circle first. Kind of keep it in level with your table right here. So draw a circle, not very big, and then draw two lines down till you meet this black line. Go at the top of the circle, and I want you to kind of make a curved line. So go ahead, right off that edge. Now this part may be a little interesting. So we're gonna draw the cushion, the part that you sit on for the couch. So I'm just gonna draw, so I'm at the corner, the edge of this line, and I just made like a corner by making another line go across like that. So here we go. I hope I'm not losing anyone. And then go ahead, make a line parallel or right next to this one, going horizontally right off the paper. Just like that. Now I hope this isn't too difficult. Alrighty. So there you go. You have a living room, a entryway, and then you got a floor. And then when you fold it all up, this is how it's gonna look. Now I'm just gonna show you, I'm not gonna have time to finish the whole thing. I apologize. So I'm just gonna show you how to make the checkerboard pattern. Sorry, I bumped the camera a little bit. So usually when you're doing a checkerboard pattern, it's like black and red, but some people have it black and white. So black and white tiles. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's kind of like an old kitchen-y look. People have done it for restaurants in the past. Some restaurants still have this. So go ahead, start with it here. There we go. So I turned my paper again just to show you how to make the tiles. So kind of have your door facing upright or towards you. Now we're gonna color in so skip the rug. So that square is gonna be white, and then this one's gonna be black. Then this one's gonna be white, so don't color that one. So this is gonna be black. Now Sculpt and Pound, I had a video for my Learn and Draw and Paint students. If you wanna watch that one, great. That's another fun project I think you guys would like. And I talked to them about using the edge of or the side of your marker. So the side of your felty marker. It's better than like that. It's better than doing this for a long time. You're getting more ink out of it and you're using less of it. So skip. And then this little black, this is gonna be a black little triangle. There you go. So we started up, so think behind the rug and what color that tile would be. So that tile would be white, then it's gonna be black, then white, then black, then white, then black, then white, then black. All right, so now our next row going down is gonna be different. It's gonna be black first. So whatever you can get from behind that carpet, do it. It'll help you keep on track. If you covered the whole thing and you can't tell, that's fine too. Just try your best to keep going. Then you would just make this your first one white. That's fine. So then that one's gonna be white. Then we're gonna go black. And I'm running out of ink. Let's see. There we go, much better. Okay, so this one's black. Then skip, that one's gonna be white. This one's gonna be black. Then white. All right, now for the next one, it's gonna be like the first one. So leave that one white. Our first one's gonna be white. Then it's gonna be black, color that in. I prefer doing the outline of the square first, so do the outline and then color it in, right? And that little triangle is gonna be black. So mostly these triangles right here at the edge of the paper are gonna be black, just because of how we started our pattern. So this first one is gonna be black. The first whole black one that you're gonna have at the top of, or the beginning of the floor. And then skip that one. That one's gonna be white. If you wanna write in pencil which ones are gonna be white, just so you don't get mixed up and accidentally color one black, go for it. That'll prevent you from making a mistake. But you know what? That's okay if you make a mistake. Mistakes happen. You learn from them. And it's another way of experimenting. making mistakes. So that one's gonna stay white, this one's gonna be the black one. And then guess we're gonna skip that one, and then the triangle is gonna be black. All right, that one, we're starting again. So our pattern this way is white, black, white, black, white, black, white. And then this way it's white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. So this way we're going this way, we're ending in white. Going down, we're ending in the black one. Right, and then there we go. Ta-da! There we go. All right, so before we run out of time, I'm just gonna show you how to assemble the whole thing. Like I said, if you do have tape, great. If not, that's okay. So I would go ahead, fold your, ooh, I hope you guys were able to see all that. Okay, sorry. If you weren't able to see that, I just looked at my camera and I was like, ooh, I'm too close. So sorry about that. So here's our pattern. White, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. And then white, black, white, black, white, black, white. Okay? So that's how you get that checkerboard pattern. I'm sorry if you weren't able to see it, but you are doing a pattern. So leave that one white, color that one black, leave that one white, color that one black. I hope you guys get that. Okay, so go ahead, fold these together, kind of like a little triangle pocket like this, just so things kind of want to curve inward. And I'm going to show you with glue and tape, just so you guys can see. So just add a couple drops of glue. And then what I would do, instead of just leaving it like little gloppies like we have here, use your finger, your magic finger, and spread it with your finger. So that way it lessens the mess. And if you squeeze these two parts together, it's not gonna squirt out the edges and stick everywhere. So go ahead. I'm gonna actually flip this to the back so that way you can see. Here's our tab, and I'm lining those up, and I'm pressing our tab against the back of this. If you want to kind of like use your fingers on the inside and outside, go for it. I recommend it. You gotta really pinch with your fingers. If you want to lay it down and then press or rub it with your finger, go for it. You're just gonna smear some pencil marks. Now if you have tape, you're doing the same thing, but instead of adding glue, you're just adding a piece of tape. If you want to do it for extra precaution, so in case that glue unsticks, go and add a piece of tape. That's totally fine. And there you go. If you want to kind of pinch the edges, so that way that lays a little bit more flat, because this is kind of, I don't know if you could tell, this is kind of like teetering a little bit, like, or this edge is coming up. I could put my finger underneath it. You want to just kind of, there you go. So there you go, you got a fun little room. Sorry I couldn't finish coloring the whole thing for you, but I'm gonna do the same thing for my color example, just to show you. So I'm cutting off that extra piece that I don't even need. I'm starting off flat. If you want to fold this tab part inward, oh, make sure you're on the line. That was not on the line. Make sure, if you did write the word tab, you're putting the glue there. There we go. Spread it with your finger. Clean off your fingers. Then go ahead, and you're kind of going dee-doo, 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 all the way up to get that point. And remember, kind of press it up against each other. Add a piece of tape if you have it. Okay. And then try to flatten some things down. See, the reason why I recommended thicker paper is that it sits a little bit better, whereas this kind of gets crinkled and it's a little bit harder to manage, or like it doesn't look as nice because like the paper the paper is so flimsy. So that's why I recommend the thicker paper if you have it. But if you don't, this works just as nice. I really like this one. I like my armchair in the corner that I had here. So I hope you did like this project. I hope it wasn't too complex for you. I hope you were able to figure it out. I hope it challenged you in some ways that you didn't know you could be challenged before. I hope you did learn some things, like some of my big words, like parallel, right next to or side by side. Sorry, I tend to not think and use big words, some of which that you don't know yet. So if I try my best to explain myself, but you're also learning new words. So I hope you really like this project. Hello again, friends. So I really hope you like this project. I hope you had a fun time making it. I hope whoever you are making these projects with had a good time as well. I hope they were able to help you, able to see things that you didn't see before, maybe explain things that I had trouble explaining or you guys didn't understand. So I apologize for that, but I hope in the end that you are proud of what you made, because that's always a good thing. If you're not proud of it, then maybe try again. Always try to better yourself. I would always love you guys to try again. Maybe make it a little different. Maybe add some things that you didn't add before. Make it your favorite place to be, like McDonald's. I don't know. You can make it kind of like a playroom. You can make it look like a pet store. Whatever. Use your imagination. Think of something else. Use your creativity. I want you guys to be creative and think outside the box. While you're at home, you have time to explore different things, experiment, take your time with some things where you wouldn't have time to at school. So definitely try some different things out. So I hope you guys are still staying active, staying creative, doing some art projects. I hope you guys continue to watch my videos. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying clean, staying healthy, you and your families. But also staying optimistic and staying happy during this time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys get to be here soon. I really miss you guys, so have a good week, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye. Oops, I'm still rolling.